on one side are the tariffs imposed by Trump administration, and on the other side there are some beneficial deals that are coming up for India. And one of these beneficial deals that has recently been signed is by the UK with India, which is the agreement which is called as the Free Trade Agreement or the FTA. So basically, it's being called as a deal for growth. So India will have a lot of benefits because of this free trade agreement. So what exactly are these benefits and many other things which we need to understand about this free trade agreement? So let's see. First thing, we will be understanding what exactly is a free trade agreement. Second thing that we are going to understand in this video is about the free trade agreement between India and the UK. And next is FTA between India and UK, how these benefits are going to happen. I mean, what would be the benefits basically for India after this agreement is being signed? Also, we will be looking at the category of companies that will benefit out of this free trade agreement. So what kind of sectors are going to grow, what kind of companies that are in India will find a beneficial approach because of this FTA, and where you can actually invest to get more benefits. So what type of shares and which type of companies to actually look at so that this you can tap the benefits of this free trade agreement. So let's see the first part. The first part is the focus about the free trade agreement. What exactly is this free trade agreement? So basically what happens in a free trade agreement is basically there will be an agreement signed between two or more countries. Like in this case, we have UK and India. Second part that happens is there will be ease of trade. So once that agreement is signed, both the countries will face ease of trade. That means they will have benefits of trade on both ends. Now, how can trade benefit? First thing is by reducing on tariffs. So if at all the levy of tariff, we know that it's a duty imposed on imports into the country. So if we are buying something from UK, earlier we had some tariff rates, let's say of 100% on the goods. Now we may reduce it maybe to 20%, or we may even make it a zero tariff commodity. So at whatever cost they are selling, we buy the commodity. So this increases the benefit of having reduced cost of imports. Also, the whatever the goods are being bought from another country will be cheaper. Now coming to documentation. So if there are some visa formalities or two countries want to actually grant visas to each other, or there is some documentation with respect to trade, this can be reduced if you are signing a free trade agreement. Third important thing is about intellectual rights protection. So if there is any copyright issue, so if the jurisdiction we are talking about of the copyright, so if we are talking of UK and India now, the UK and India would come to common grounds when it comes to intellectual property rights like patents, copyrights, trademarks, and so on. Then finally, we'll have some product standards. So if UK is buying from India, they will expect a certain standardized product to come to them. And same will happen when India buys goods from UK. This deal, which is signed between India and UK, now accordingly, IMF has declared that International Monetary Fund has declared that India is the fifth largest economy in the world and UK is the sixth largest economy in the world. So basically, it's signed between the fifth and the sixth largest of the economies in the world, which is creating a benefit of these two superpowers having some common grounds in terms of trade. So this establishment of free trade agreement between India and UK is quite beneficial. Now, what are the benefits of this free trade agreement? So basically, we have one concept which is called as the DCCA, which is called as Double Contribution Convention Agreement. Now, if we know UK, people who are going to the UK for employment, maybe they're professionals, maybe other areas of jobs, these people find that they have to pay what is called as a social security tax or social security in the UK. Now, when this DCCA comes into effect, now this is with respect to temporary workers. That means those people, the employees who are going on temporary basis to the UK, these people also had to pay the social security taxes. Now, if you're paying something as social security tax in the UK and you're also an employee in India, basically you also have to pay for PF, Provident Fund, and Employee Provident Fund in the case of India. So double times you're making some payments, which is not really acceptable if it's a temporary job, right? So this DCCA benefits these type of employees who have, in terms of temporary employment, gone to UK, and they will not have to contribute to the social securities for 3 years time duration. So if you are employed in the UK and you are from India, you don't have to pay the social security taxes for 3 years. Then this benefit is extended. So now if we are talking about the employees in the UK, currently 60,000 employees will benefit because of this free trade agreement, which is a huge number. And total financial benefit that is happening because of this agreement amounts to nearly 4,000 crore rupees. So 4,000 crore rupees of these employees will be saved. So this is the benefit of a free trade agreement between two countries. Now, what are the extended benefits? Second benefit that we can see of free trade agreement is about tariff reductions. As I told you, free trade agreements generally benefit in terms of tariffs. So if you're paying higher tariffs, or if you are charging higher tariffs on the goods, you now don't charge that much. So India will charge less tariff. UK also will charge less tariff. So how in this case we are benefiting? UK exports to India. India will reduce the tariffs on 90% of British products. So basically, now you will have a concession in tariffs in these cases, in the commodities which are listed out, like whiskey, gin, cosmetics, medical devices, automotive components. So all these components, all these companies who are connected to this sector will have the benefits. Now coming to the exports which India makes to UK. In this case, UK will eliminate nearly 99% of Indian export tariffs, right? So this will benefit the sectors like textiles, footwear, food items. So processed food and all, a lot of things are exported to the UK. So this processed food industry will be the beneficial industry in terms of this free trade agreement. Now, of course, this is not going to be like immediate effect of 90% reduction. So it will be a phased out manner, slowly and steadily. Year to year, you will find the reduction in the tariff. So maybe first year they may reduce it by 20%, next year they may reduce it by 30%, and so on. So it will depend on whatever agreement clauses have been signed between these countries, and accordingly they will reduce the tariff slowly in a phased out manner. Now, another benefit that is happening is basically UK has agreed to ease visa processing for certain professionals. So we are not talking of everyone, not for travel, not for other things. So visa processing will be eased out for the professionals. What type now? Digitally delivered services will also be eased from Indian suppliers. These include even architects, IT, and engineering. So these type of people will benefit in terms of their visa processing, which will be quickened, which will be given easily by the UK. Then coming to the next benefit, where we find that there will be obvious boost of trade and reduce the China factor. So India is quite interested in reducing the China factor from our economy. So we don't want Chinese goods, and slowly but steadily, in fact, the entire world is trying towards this motive that they don't want to rely too much on Chinese products. So that's why they will try and boost the trade between UK and India and have some of the benefits got from UK instead of China. So overall aim is to double the bilateral trade to $100 billion by 2030. So that is the aim of this free trade agreement. And obviously, we will reduce the reliance on China and tap other global supply chains like the UK. So this is just one agreement, FTA, which is signed, but there could also be, you can say, the agreements which will come up between other countries and India. Now, if we say companies that will benefit, so investment, what are the chances of your investment growing? So if you're looking at investing in shares of certain companies, what type of companies can you actually choose? So the first choice could be with the connection, of course, of engineering consultancy. So which companies are delivering engineering consultancies? These are definitely going to benefit. Next benefit will be in terms of companies making whiskey and gin, right? Then coming to some medical appliances. So you'll have to see the list of medical appliances that are coming under this free trade agreement. And accordingly, these medical devices, if the company is manufacturing, this company shares you can buy and actually find them growing. Then coming to cosmetics and also food suppliers to UK. Now, food suppliers, what we have seen, food suppliers would be connected to the processed food industries where you are finding exports which are happening from India to UK. These industries will find a growth in the exports. And actually, if you invest in them, you also find the growth in your shareholders, right? So this is what is the overall benefit of the free trade agreement between India and UK. So these type of agreements have been signed in the past also, and they will be signed in the future also, where we find that the two countries come together, agree on common terms, where they can have a win-win situation where both countries can benefit in terms of trade. So this bilateral trade agreements, which are the free trade agreements, are quite beneficial for the countries in different ways, and specifically are focused to boost trade between the two countries. So hope you have understood about free trade agreements and specifically connected to the free trade agreement between UK and India in this particular video. So we will be giving you more and more such updates about the knowledge, about commerce, industry, about laws, and certain things which have changes and impacts on the economy of India in the future videos also of Commerce GYAN. So just in case you have not subscribed to the journey of Commerce GYAN, do subscribe, and also put in the comments what you feel about this particular video and what exactly you have any specific requirements about understanding a particular topic. So we will keep making the videos on those topics also. So hope to see you in the next video of Commerce GYAN. Thank you.